Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Lost World Jurassic Park Revoltech Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, this video is starting off different because instead of looking at the figure, Okay, so I'm starting off with the box in this video because this box is actually pretty big for kind of a small figure, so yeah, that's why I'm starting off with the box this time instead of the figure, so yeah. Anyway, let's take a closer look. So on the cover here, we have a nice picture of the figure itself. On the corner here, we have the Lost World Jurassic Park logo. Series number 29 with some Japanese lettering. On the side right here, we have Sci-Fi Revoltech, series number 29, T.Rex, and the sculptor and producer. And I'm not going to try to pronounce these names because if I try, I would just end up messing it up. So if by some miracle these people end up finding this video, I apologize in advance because I'm actually pretty stupid. So yeah, anyway, that's that. Right here in the corner we have some Japanese writing with Sci-Fi Revoltech. On the top here we have some more Japanese writing, Sci-Fi Revoltech, powered by Revoltech. Sci-Fi Revoltech and series number 29, the sculptor and producer again, and some Japanese writing. On the side, we just have some information about what a Revoltech joint is, and basically, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's basically just a, it's just like two swivels on a ratchet joint, so, yeah. Anyway, on the other side, we have some information right here, Japanese writing. And the figure itself. This is NR111 Revoltech. And some more stuff right here. On the bottom, we just have some more information about Revoltech. And on the back, we just have the figure in different poses, all the accessories it comes with, and some information right here. If you can read Japanese, then I'd say pause and read it now. Anyway, on the inside, we have a lot of information here, and a couple of shots from the Lost World Jurassic Park, which look very nice. This is the window, so you could see the figure. Oh, I just bumped into that. Sci-Fi Revoltech, and powered by Revoltech, it says upside down. Some Japanese writing here, with the same Sci-Fi Revoltech, powered by Revoltech, produced and manufactured by Kyoto, I believe that is. I think that's right, but yeah. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. Now we'll take a look at the accessories. Well, this first thing isn't really an accessory. This is just kind of a catalog of different figures that they have. They have things like Monsters Inc., the Tyrannosaurus that we're reviewing today, skeleton people that I don't know. That I don't know exactly what they're from. This giant robot. This was released in 2011, so I guess this is the 5th anniversary. I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to Revoltech, so I do apologize for that. And we just have the cover here. On the other side, we have some Evangelion figures. Another robot, and I believe this is Gundam, or not Gundam. Oh, I forget what it's called. I remember this guy I watch on YouTube, he reviewed a figure similar to this, but yeah, I don't know exactly the name of what this robot here is from, but yeah, I know it's some like anime, but yeah, anyway. I think that's a Gundam right there, I'm not too sure. Honestly, I don't know too much about, like, anything here. I know about Evangelion, but I don't know about anything here. And if we open this up, then it's just a bunch of advertisements for their websites and other figures. So, yeah. And that is pretty much it for that. Now for the accessories. The first accessory is this transparent orange box where you can hold all the accessories. So if we just open this up, he comes with, or this isn't an accessory, this was actually attached to the base. I just so happened to break it off, so yeah, I still have it, and all that shiny stuff you see underneath is all glue, so yeah, I can't really glue that back on anymore, which is kind of a bummer. Anyway, he comes with a pair of running feet, so you could make this figure look like he's running, or she, or whatever, but yeah. Whoops, wrong side. And that's it for that. This is a cool little accessory, but he comes with a little name tag that says T.Rex, The Lost World, 1997, which is really cool. You can't really like attach this to anything. It just sits there like that. So, yeah. Now we'll take a look at this figure's base, and this is actually a very nice base. Something I do have to admit, like, I do think it's a little strange that they went for The Lost World instead of Jurassic Park. However, I'm still thankful because it's nice to see The Lost World get a bit of love. But, yeah. Anyway, this is a nice looking base. The trees are sculpted. In my opinion, I think they look a little bit too sci-fi-ish, in my opinion. I guess it's mainly like these parts right here, but yeah. These plants look very nice, and there's the broken part that I was talking about earlier. Underneath, we have some information, so if you want to pause and read it now, go ahead. And the dirt is actually really nicely painted. And where the feet are, it's actually a glossy, has a glossy finish, and that actually is a very nice touch. And also another nice touch is that the trees are actually on Revoltech joints, so yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And now the Tyrannosaurus itself. And I don't know if this is supposed to be the male Tyrannosaurus or the female Tyrannosaurus from the Lost World. I think this is just supposed to be its own thing, but it still looks nice nonetheless. And what you do to get the figure on the stand, it's not as simple as just plugging it in. There's actually a bit more to it. Basically, I'm not going to do this on camera because it is kind of a pain on mine anyway. Because what you do is you take the feet off, and that's why I don't like doing that, because the whole Revoltech joint comes out. But what you do is you take the Revoltech joint, just pretend like I have the T-Rex, but basically you take the Revoltech joint and you plug it into that hole right there. So that goes in like that, and then you take the feet and then you plug this hole into this little tab right here. So once you get that all set, you have your T-Rex standing on the stand. It should look better than this, but if you have the patience, but I don't want this video to just be me just trying to get this thing on the stand. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you can replace the standing feet with running feet, and all you have to do is just take that off, put that in like so. It's a little tight, so there you go. And then you just plug that in here, and you can get this figure into kind of a moving pose. And I actually do like how that looks. So, yeah. And I actually really do like this figure a lot in terms of like the concept. The actual figure itself isn't perfect, if I'm going to be honest. I remember when I got this like 5 years ago, I thought that it was like the best thing ever, but it actually isn't. And basically, no, I need that. Well, it's not a bad figure. There's just some things that I don't necessarily like about it. But we'll take a look at that in a second. Now, you actually can get this figure to stand without the base, which is cool. I'll see if I can try to get that to happen on camera. It might take a while, so yeah, just try to be patient with me. Actually, let me adjust the tripod, because it's kind of far away. So then, no. Alright, I'm not going to try, so I'm just, for the rest of the video, he's just going to be like this. I apologize in advance for this, but yeah, I don't want to spend the whole video of just me yeah, because the biggest problem is that these joints right here are too loose on mine, and they don't really support the figure whatsoever, so yeah. I don't know what to do about that, but... Oh! Oh, never mind, I got it. Alright. Alright, cool. So, it is possible to get this figure to stand without the base. So, yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the figure itself by starting off with the paint. And the paint on this figure is actually pretty good. It's not accurate to the movie or anything like that. I don't know if this is supposed to be the bull Tyrannosaurus or the female Tyrannosaurus, but it still looks nice. The upper half of this figure is like a dirty green with brighter bits of green on top. We have some nice stripes going along the body here and on the hip. And that goes down through the tail. The underside of the figure, actually between the scales right here, there are bits of paint which actually make it look really nice. The toe claws are painted black, as well as the finger claws. And what's cool is that even the dew claws on this figure are painted, so yeah, that's really nice. Going to the head, the eyes are painted green with black pupils. The teeth look a little bit more pink than white, and the inside of the mouth is, well, the roof is pink and so is the tongue, but you could still see, you know, everything behind it. And I think the membranes here should have been painted better because they're just yellow. But, yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the paint on this figure. The paint on this figure is actually very good. Not accurate, but it still works, so the paint gets a pass. Let me adjust the lighting. I apologize for that. Now we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is actually amazing. And as I said earlier, Revoltech joints are basically a combination of swivels and ratchet joints. So, yeah, anyway, the head, I almost said mouth, the head can swivel. You can look up that far and down that far. He has a very wide mouth, which, that doesn't look good at all. It would have been nice if they were stopping it from opening up all the way, but instead you get this. So, yeah. Anyway, there's a swivel at the center of the neck. Revoltech joint right here. A Revoltech joint here, and a swivel. The legs can move about, bend at the knee. And there is a loose joint right here. I would have liked it if this was a Revoltech joint too, because that would make this figure, you know, a lot easier to stand. But the feet are on Revoltech joints as well. The tail can move and also has a bendy wire, which is very nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. I'm sorry. Alright, you know what? Yeah, for the rest of the review, it's just going to be like this. So I apologize for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. There are some, you know, points of articulation that I'm not too keen on. And mainly the ankles right here. Or ankles, I don't know what this would be called, but I don't like how, you know, loose this is, because this is actually pretty loose and it does not support the figure whatsoever. So, yeah. Or now it does. You would just have to, like, straighten it out, but if you have it in, like, any dynamic poses, then, yeah, this figure is going to be falling over a lot. But, yeah, I think, you know, the head, I think that doesn't look all that great. But, again, if you don't have it posed like that, then it looks pretty good. But other than that, the articulation on this figure is actually very good, so the articulation gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the sculpt on this figure, and the sculpt on this figure is actually pretty good. I'll be honest, it's not one-to-one with the movie, but the sculpt is still very nice on this figure. It still looks accurate enough to work, so yeah. The head, I think, looks the most different compared to the movie, but it still looks pretty accurate nonetheless, so that looks nice. Again, I know I talked about this. That's a loud truck. I do apologize for that, but I know I talked about this in the articulation, but again, that does not look pretty. And, yeah. Other than that, the sculpt on this figure is actually very good, so the sculpt on this figure gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is really good. So looking at the head, we have some scaling, which looks very nice. Going into the mouth here, the roof of the mouth is detailed very nicely, as well as the tongue. The nostrils are actually detailed very nicely as well. The wrinkles on the neck right here look very nice. Going along to the body, the rib cage is actually really well detailed. And going to the arms here, they look very nice as well. All of the creases and folds look very nice. Going to the hips, all of the creases and like wrinkles look very nice. And the musculature right here on the calf looks very nice as well. The feet are detailed very nicely with very nice scales on each individual toe and that right there, which looks very nice. Going to the tail, all of the wrinkles and creases are throughout the tail, and that looks really good. Going to the underside of the figure, we have more scales. And the scales right here look very nice. I think that having a figure with scales like this, with paint between each scale, kind of like brings out the detailing, which looks very nice on this figure. And we have some creases underneath the neck right here, as well as some creases and folds underneath the jaw right here. And on the back we have some creases, folds, and wrinkles, which look very nice. And that is it for the detailing on this figure. Like I said before, the detailing on this figure is really good, so the detailing definitely gets a pass. And at the end of the day, should you get this figure, I'd say if you're a fan of the Lost World Jurassic Park, I'd say that this figure is definitely worth it. It's not like, I don't know which Tyrannosaur this is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be the bull T-Rex or the female Tyrannosaurus, but again, it still looks very nice for what it is. The price of this figure is actually very high. Now, I got this figure back in 2013, and I paid $72, but I do know that the price for this figure has gone up. I believe somewhere around $100, and there is another version of this figure where it's not Jurassic Park or the Lost World license, but it's just a brown T-Rex. So, yeah, just a generic brown T-Rex, but other than that, if you can get this specific figure, then definitely go for it. And what's cool about Revoltech is that they actually do make Godzilla figures. Actually, it's not cool because they make, you know, other monsters that you'd know. They made Gigan, Mothra, Rodan, Anguirus, Baragon, and Mogira. You know, typical monsters like that. The one monster they didn't make was Godzilla himself, and I don't get how they, you know, couldn't make Godzilla. I don't know if it was because of licensing issues or anything like that, but if you're going to make a line of Godzilla figures, definitely make Godzilla. But anyway, that's just a bit of a ramble. Definitely get this figure if you can for a cheap price. I wouldn't recommend paying a lot for this figure, but yeah. Anyway, like I said before, I paid $72. I believe this figure is over $100, so yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big this figure is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. And this really is a small Tyrannosaur figure. And that seems to be a complaint that I hear about this figure, is that it's too small. I actually don't mind the size. I actually, you know, do like occasional, like, small Tyrannosaurs. Like, yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure, would like, you know, big, like, you know, dinosaur figures. But I think something like this works well. And I think the, you know, the smallness of this figure is kind of the reason why I kind of like this figure. But, yeah. Anyway, definitely get this figure if you can for a cheap price. And, yeah. That is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zach out.